how's it going? Welcome to another video. So, welcome to another episode of my favorite album from every year, decade style. So, we've done 70s, 80s, and 90s, and today we're doing 2000s. 2000 all the way up to 2009. This one's a bit of fun. This one's got some nostalgic stuff. We've got some hardcore listens that I still listen to today, but either way, these albums, just in general, are amazing. They're always great. We're getting into real passionate stuff here. So yeah, if you've been playing along, please let me know down below what your favorite albums are from the years 2000 all the way up to 2009. Come back next week and we'll do 2010 to 19, and I think I might end it there. I'm not sure about doing the 20s yet, but either way, get excited for the next one as well. But yeah, like I said, put down below what your favorite albums are and we'll get a conversation going as to who's got the better list. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into it, coming in strong with the year 2000. So, like I just said, nostalgic is present in this video. Number 2000 is Robbie's third album, Sing When You're Winning. This is the infamous Rock DJ Kids Supreme album. This is the one that put Robbie Williams on the map in terms of, well, he was already on the map, but more global superstar with this album. Like, honestly, Better Man, Let Love Be Your Energy, everything on this album is amazing. Just it's one of the greatest pop albums ever. It's a fantastic Brit pop album for a start. This came out on August 28th 2000, I'm pretty sure, and this is the original copy that I got as a Christmas present when I was like 6, I think, and I probably doesn't play anymore because of how scratched it might be, but yeah, it's battered up and ripped, but it's fantastic, honestly. Even if all the singles on this album are insane, but all the B-sides as well, tracks 6 to 12, they're great as well. If It's Hurting You, Sing for the Lonely, Love Calling Earth, The Road to Mandalay, guys, come on, it's a fantastic album, and my number 1 ranked Robbie album for sure. But yeah, great album cover, just fantastic. When I heard when I heard the phrase favorite album of 2000, I was like, this one is definitely takes the cake. So yeah, 2000 for me, Sing When You're Winning. 2001 is a year that for the album that I don't have, and I'm going with Iced Earth's Horror Show. Yeah, I know this one's a bit weird, but it's my number 1 ranked Iced Earth album, so get out of here. You know, I just think this one's amazing so much. I remember hearing the Transylvania cover off this album years before actually listening to the rest of the album, because I just thought that cover was so cool. I didn't need to hear the rest. This album is a concept album of themes throughout horror. You know, what's the first song on there? Wolf. You know, it's about werewolves and the like. Damien is about The Omen, and Jack is about Jack the Ripper, and the Phantom Ghost, and Dracula, Transylvania. I don't know why that goes in on there, but it's just a great album. Those songs are awesome. Aside from the Transylvanian Hunger cover, Damien is probably my favorite. Not real simple, but just real standard Iced Earth power metal type stuff. It's got an awesome little bass riff, and the chorus is just I'll call it what I'll call the poem from the film The Omen, when the Jews return to Zion and all that jazz. Honestly, it's so cool. Jack is a great song. Yeah, and there's other bits and pieces on here that just fill the album out. It's honestly such a fun time. The Phantom Opera Ghost is a duet. Naturally, it's not a cover of the Phantom of the Opera song from the musical, but it's honestly so much fun. I love that so much. But yeah, if you haven't listened to Horror Show by Iced Earth, please, I highly recommend you go check it out. It's honestly amazing. 2001's Horror Show, Iced Earth. 2002 is a prog metal album, 6 Degrees from Inner Turbulence from Dream Theater. This is a very, very highly ranked album, in my opinion, on the Dream Theater catalog, and I just think it's amazing. When I first heard this album in 2012, I think, really started to get into prog and orchestra and symphonic type of metal. This album just blew me away. Good God. 5 tracks of epic Dream Theater in itself, but then you get Disc 2, which is a full-blown 42-minute song, all covering different mental illnesses, how they all link together and whatnot. Oh, when I was 17, my brain couldn't handle that. Honestly, when I first discovered Dream Theater and how proggy they actually were, I was just like, good God. Everything from the Glass Prison is a fantastic song. Blind Faith is probably my weakest song in the album, but still really good. Misunderstood is fun. The Great Debate is weird, but it's still good. 13 minutes. It's a long album. Like, the 5 songs that make up Disc 1, they are long. Glass Prison's 13 minutes, I think, and so is The Great Debate. Misunderstood, I think, is Disappear, I think, is the shortest song of like 5.5 minutes. Blind Faith is another 10-minute song. It's a monstrous side 1, and then you get 42 minutes on side 2, which is just great. Overture is great. About to Crash, both versions of it are fantastic. The Test That Stumped Them All, The War Against My Head, Losing Time, Goodnight Kiss, just fantastic stuff. Honestly, if you're a prog fan and you haven't heard this, I don't know what you've been doing, but yeah, 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence is a fantastic effort from Dream Theater, so it easily goes as my favorite for 2002. Something a bit brutal for 2003, we've got Belphegor's 4th album, Lucifer Incestus. This one I just love. I bought this blind, kind of purely because I had just started to get into Belphegor and I saw this one was available and I saw the album cover and I saw the name and I was just like, thank you. This one's also blue, and apparently, according to the website, according to Napalm Records, it was limited to 300 copies, but there's nothing on here, on the back, on the LP itself that actually tells me like 1 out of 300, so who knows how many there are. But honestly, this album is just evil. It's insane. It's very demonic and satanic, obviously, which is why I honestly love it so much. You've got Satan hanging out with his nun mates. Honestly, it's just so good. He's having some fun with her on the back. But yeah, the intro track, Inflamente Christianos, which I think is Latin for Burn the Christians. Just a soundscape song, an intro of a fire burning and them chanting that with females burning. Just the Goat Christ, fantastic song. Diaboli Virtus in Lumbar Est. Yep, that one's cool. Demonic Staccato Erection. That one's great. The chorus in that is just great. And the intro as well. The Blood of Christ, great stuff. Lucifer Incestus, the title track. It's an offensively loud, fast, rude album. I just love it. It's my number 2 ranked Belphegor album, but yeah, I freaking love this thing so much. 2003, Lucifer Incestus. 2004, I've gone with probably my favorite power metal album, and that is Rhapsody of Fire's, well, Rhapsody's Symphony of Enchanted Lands 2, The Dark Secret Saga. This album sort of tied in around the same time that I was listening to 6 Degrees. You know, I was listening to Dream Theater, Rhapsody, Nightwish, a lot of symphonic, proggy, bombastically loud stuff. I first heard this album thanks to hearing Unholy Warcry, and I couldn't, a bit like Dream Theater, I couldn't believe what I was hearing at that prime age of 16, 17. You know, the video for that is stupid. It's ridiculous. You've got Christopher Lee in a Burger King crown, and they all look like elves and heroes. It's just great, but good God, it sounded amazing. Luca Tuli's guitar playing was outrageously clean and up and just very classical. I was like, what is that? I hadn't really been exposed to classical metal at that time yet, so I was like, that's insane. And then boom, and then I found out who Rhapsody were, went more in depth about them. You know, albums 1 to 5 are one story, and then this album for the next 5 was telling another story, and I was just like, good God. That album alone inspired me to write my own fantasy novel, which I did, and it published. It was cool. I haven't finished it yet. It was going to be a trilogy. I just never wrote part 2. Still got the plans for it, but just God knows when. But yeah, this album, Unholy Warcry, Never Forgotten Heroes, The Magic of the Wizard's Dream, Algard's, no, what's it called? Arian's Mystical Rhymes, The Last Dragon Call, Nightfall on the Grey Mountains, that really, what's that long one called? The Shadow, the Shadow one, Sacred Raging Wind, that, you know, just Christopher Lee throughout the whole thing. Just there's ballads, there's power metal, there's what do you call them, interlude scene songs like Algard's Green Valleys, which is just the sound of them climbing through rocks with a flute playing in the background. Just such great stuff. It's fantastic. If you haven't heard this album and you like that kind of power metal, go listen to it. It blows all other power metal out the door, in my opinion. I think it's great. Yeah, 2004 has to go to Symphony of Enchanted Lands 2. I tried to not repeat bands, but unfortunately this one just blew them all away. Number 2005 is Dream Theater's Octavarium. Yep, so this is another very, very highly ranked album, in my opinion, in the Dream Theater catalog. If you thought how passionate I was about 6 Degrees, this just takes that and just maxes it out even further. If you don't know about this album, then get ready. Just strap in, honestly. At first glance, it doesn't seem like much. You know, you pick it up, you think, oh yeah, it's kind of heavy, but fair enough, it's a double album. There's 8 songs, you know, it can't be that bad, until you realize that the last song is 24 minutes long, which isn't bad anyway. If you're like me and you love long songs, that's just great in itself. I would have blind bought this at seeing that without even knowing anything about it, because I love long songs. But this album, from start to finish, from the first note to the last note, it's the same note, fun fact. Octavarium. Hello, let's talk about it. If you're musically inclined, how many notes are there before they start repeating? 8. What's the name of the album? Octavarium. How many tracks are on here? 8. Each song is in a different musical key. The Root of All Evil starts in the key of F, and Octavarium is also in the key of F, but an octave up. The Answer Lies Within is in is in G. These Walls is in A. I Walk Beside You is in B. Panic Attack is in C. Never Enough is in D. Sacrifice Sons is in E. Octavarium's in F. Just to really create the whole thing of ending where it began, just good God. Just insane stuff. Aside from the title track, the title track in itself is amazing. It's 24 minutes. It's a song about things beginning where they ended and just all sorts of stuff. I did a video a few years ago about what makes this album great. Go watch that if you want me to go more in depth with it. Just good God, honestly, I can't talk about this album enough. It's just fantastic. Aside from the title track, The Answer Lies Within is fantastic. If you're familiar with Dream Theater, this is a very stripped back Dream Theater album. It's not aggressive and it's not heavy. They took a lot more calmer approach. They looked at influences that weren't very metal, you could say, and it definitely shows. The Answer Lies Within is pretty much a U2 song. Panic Attack is pretty insane with that wacky bass intro. But yeah, like things like U2 and Coldplay, a lot more non-metal influences went into this album. They wrote it using a guitar and a piano, just like that. And because Train of Thought was so heavy, the album before it, it was natural for them to do an album that wasn't so heavy afterwards. But either way, it's the best album of 2005. It's the best album of Dream Theater. It's my #1 ranked. It's just amazing. Go listen to it. I can't rack on about it enough. 2006 is another power metal album, and I've gone for Blind Guardian's A Twist in the Myth. Again, this was my first heard Blind Guardian album, and thanks to the same way I heard on Holy Warcry, I heard Another Stranger Me, which was thanks to, what's it called? Headbangers Ball. Very cool. I was like, this sounds fun, catchy, singable. What's the album like? I was like, cool. Not as bombastic as anything we've talked about already, but that album I just played so much. Like, when I was, 16, 17, I just thought it was great. Fly is a great song. Another Stranger Me is a fantastic song. Carry the Blessed Home, just that chorus. Well, yeah, is it the chorus? Carry the Blessed? Yeah, no one's left here but me and I'll sing out your name. Just great stuff. Skulls and Shadows, Turn the Page. Just honestly, fantastic stuff. It's power metal, right? It's Blind Guardian. They're very bombastic anyway, but it's very triumphant. It's just a fantastic album. I haven't listened to it from start to finish in a good long time. I'm overdue, but yeah, honestly, I hear the few favorites from my shuffle come up quite a bit, but yeah, honestly, just fantastic stuff. If you haven't heard this album, please go listen to it. It's a good time. 2006, A Twist in the Myth. 2007 is a funny, simple one. 2007's is Airborne's Running Wild. This album is just fun and great. If you like AC/DC but a tiny bit faster and funner, this is the album for you. I won't say this is the band for you because I can't comment on the rest of their stuff. Well, I can comment on No Guts, No Glory, or whatever that orange one's called. But yeah, Running Wild is just great. Everything from stand up to rock and roll. The great intro song, dun 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 dun. It just goes and goes and goes. The title track, Running Wild, is great. Lemmy Kilmister's in the video driving the truck. That one's awesome. Cheap Wine, Cheap Women, Too Much, Too Young, Too Fast. That's where this one comes from. Diamond in the Rough, great song. Blackjack, that's great. I love that one. What's Eating You, a kind of slower one, but yeah, I say slower, it's mid-tempo. It's a fantastic album. Again, just for fun. I used to jam this album quite a bit. It's a great entry rock and roll album, in my opinion. It's just a party album. Like I said, it's AC/DC, but a tiny bit more amped up. It's so fun. If you haven't heard Running Wild, just go listen to it for some hard, fun rock and roll. It's so much fun. Airborne's Running Wild, 2007. 2008, I've gone for Trivium's Shogun. Yeah, this one, again, is a bit of a nostalgical one because I used to jam this one quite a lot in the summer of 2012, and I used to listen to it all the time on my iPod while at work. I don't know why, it was just great. I think, it's because the iPod wasn't mine originally, but this album was on there, so I just played it over and over again. This one is just fantastic. I've got this one on LP and CD, but the CD doesn't have the track listings on it. Thankfully, the LP does, because some of these song titles are long. Christe Gomen, the first song, I love that. I love how it opens with the riff, or the vocal melody, you could say. The little guitar riff is the vocal melody to the title track, Shogun. That one's awesome. Great chorus in that. Torn Between Skylar and Cherubus. God, that intro, dun, 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 bum, 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 bum. Good stuff, honestly. Down from the Sky was the single of this album, and that again from Headbangers Ball was my introduction to Trivium. I'm pretty sure. Just again blown in the face with aggressive choruses, but no, other way around. Aggressive versus beautifully sung chorus. At first I was like, is that a keyboard? But no, it's just electric guitar. Into the Mouth of Hell, that one's great. Insurrection, that one's awesome. The Calamity is my least favorite song, but it's still great. For He Who Spawned the Furies, tiny bit slower, but still okay. Of Prometheus and the Crucifix though, that one's great. That one's just got that awesome breakdown in it. I'm pretty sure that's that one. Like Callisto to a Star in Heaven, that one's fun. Shogun, the title track, 12 minutes I think of just really good stuff. But there are some bonus tracks on the CD. They covered Iron Maiden, the song, which is okay. Again, Iron Maiden's not my favorite Maiden song ever, but Upon the Shores, that one's great. And there's another one that I can't remember what it's called at the moment. Does it tell me anywhere? Oh, I don't want to get the booklet out. Cannot be asked. No, it doesn't tell me anywhere. There's another bonus track on here that I can't remember the name of, but I'm pretty sure I remember thinking that it's amazing. Yeah, it's not Prometheus. Something about like I can't remember what it's called. It's bugging me. You know the one. It's great. This is a fantastic album. Go listen to it if you haven't. Trivium Shogun for 2008. And then the last one is an album that I've been bringing up quite a bit lately since he released his last album. Number 9 is High End of Low from Marilyn Manson. This is my favorite Manson album ever. Nothing will beat it because of how dark and depressing it is. It's just fun. It's dark and depressing and it's slow. But good God, out of all, however many tracks there are, out of all 16 tracks, there's like one song on here that's skippable, and I think that's Wow, track 9, literally W-O-W. That's a bit dumb. But everything from the opening song, Devour, to all the way up to the I'm a Goddamn Motherfucking Getting remix, just good stuff, honest to God. It's insane. Pretty as a Scar is catchy. No, wait, the other one. Leave a Scar is catchy as. That one should have been a single. I don't know why it wasn't. Four Rusted Horses, real dark, acoustic-y type driven stuff. I'm a Goddamn, great song. That one's always got a funny story. He wrote the music for it and gave that to the record company, and then they were like, oh, sweet, release that no matter what. So he put the most offensive lyrics on it that he could. Running to the Edge of the World, that real beautiful, awful, depressing acoustic song. That one's just awesome. White Spider, that's great. Unkillable Monster, I've always loved that one. We're From America, a little bit dumb, but I mean, it's Manson, it's good fun. I Have to Look Up Just to See Hell, that one's fun. Into the Fire, I love that dark, depressing piano ballad. I think it's awesome. And 15, I think technically it's a great way to end the album because I'm a Goddamn is next. But yeah, if you haven't heard this album, I do recommend it, especially if you're not feeling the happiest. Like if you're a tiny bit down, this just might comfort you. It comforted me during my first dark period, during the 16, 17, 18 era of my life. It's just really good. The most aggressive song on here is probably, there really isn't one because it's just not that kind of album. So if you're like me and you don't really get a kick out of Antichrist Superstar anymore because you're not 15 years old and angry against the world, if you've grown up a bit like me, this is a good album. It's honestly slept on so much, but it's great, honestly. Go listen to it. Marilyn Manson's High End of Low, my favorite album from 2009. And there we have it, team. That's my list of my favorite albums from 2000 all the way up to 2009. Like I said at the start, let me know down below what your favorites are. Are you able to list them all like me? Let's have a conversation about which album is better. It's always good fun. Like I said at the start, keep an eye out for probably the final one, 2010 to 2019. If you've been following all along and you haven't subbed yet, go hit the sub. We have so much fun hanging out here and talking about all things metal. There's a lot of Maiden content that's always coming out, so if you're a Maiden fan, that's always fun. But if not, like I say, there's always random links. There's always ranks and lists and things like that. It's just a good time. So yeah, hit the sub and we'll create a friendship. But yeah, keep an eye out for the next video. Who knows when that will be? But until that happens, everyone, stay inside, stay safe. Out of all the albums I've said today, probably, I don't know which one I'd put on top. Probably Octavarium, to be honest. If you haven't jammed that, go listen to it. But I'll see you all in the next video. See you later.